When the knife came from behind. Part 1. Just another Friday. I don't think any man wakes up expecting his life to collapse on a Friday. Fridays are for clocking out early, cracking open a cold one, and deciding whether to grill burgers or order pizza. That's what I thought, at least, until the day I started noticing things I wasn't supposed to. It started subtle. Claire, my wife of 8 years, was laughing more at her phone. A different kind of laugh. Not the one she gave me. Not the soft, genuine one that used to spill out when we'd sit on the porch together. No, this was a laugh with edges, like it was meant for someone who didn't live in our house. At first, I brushed it off. I'm not the paranoid type. We've been through some rough patches. Who hasn't? But nothing earth-shattering. We had dinner together most nights. We still slept in the same bed. And yet, something was off. I didn't suspect anything real until our close friend Luke started coming around more often. Luke and I go back 15 years. He was the guy who helped me fix my truck after the axle cracked. We built a fence together in the dead of winter. He was best man at my wedding, and back then, I'd have trusted him with my life. Lately, though, he'd pop in with takeout or beer even when I wasn't home. Said he was dropping stuff off or keeping Claire company while I worked late. At first, I was grateful. Thought it was just Luke being Luke. But then I caught a look between them once. We were all out back, me flipping ribs on the grill, Luke handing Claire a drink, and there was something in the way their eyes met. Too familiar, too comfortable. I pretended not to see it. I wanted to believe I was imagining things. That I was tired, that work stress was getting to me. But I couldn't shake it. I started paying attention in ways I never had before. And that's when I saw it. On Claire's phone, in the reflection of our living room window one night, her fingers tapping out a message in the middle of what was supposed to be movie night. The name on the screen? Luke. And right then, my stomach dropped. I didn't say anything. I smiled, passed her the popcorn, and acted like nothing had happened. But something deep inside me shifted that night. A cold kind of clarity settled in. I wasn't going to confront her. I was going to watch. Wait. Learn everything. And when the time came, I'd make sure they never saw it coming. I didn't sleep much after that night. Every word Claire said started to sound different. Like I was hearing it through a cracked door. She still kissed me goodbye. Still sent heart emojis during the day. But now, every gesture felt rehearsed. Like I was watching someone act out the role of devoted wife, instead of living it. I started noticing patterns. Thursdays, she always dressed a little nicer. Friday nights, she claimed she was too tired for anything in bed. And Luke? He'd always find an excuse to swing by on Saturdays. Just for a beer. Just to borrow a tool. Just to catch up. I let him talk. I listened. I smiled when he told me he admired what Claire and I had. I even laughed when he joked that he wished he had a woman like her. The truth was, he already did. So I started planning. First, I bought a cheap burner phone. One Claire wouldn't recognize. I signed up for a new number and installed a GPS tracking app on her phone while she was in the shower one morning. I knew her passcode, same one she's used for years. I told myself it wasn't spying, it was survival. That weekend, she said she was going to a girls' night. Spa, wine, the works. I nodded, kissed her forehead, and watched her drive off. She didn't go anywhere near the spa. The tracker said she parked on Maple Drive, on the east side of town. Quiet neighborhood, only one name I knew out there. Luke. I sat on the couch for 2 hours. Phone in hand, watching the little blue dot stay in the same spot. She came home just past midnight. Hair messy, lipstick faded. She didn't even try to lie about the wine breath. You have fun? I asked, casual as I could manage. Yeah, we laughed so much. You should have seen Jenna, she was completely wasted. I smiled. Glad you had a good time. She kissed my cheek, told me she loved me, and went to bed. I stayed on the couch. And I stayed awake. Because now, I wasn't just suspicious. I knew. The next morning, I did something I never thought I'd do. I called Luke, invited him over for a barbecue the following weekend. Just us. No Claire. He said sure, like he always did. And that's when I knew something else. They were comfortable, too comfortable, which meant I could use that against them. If I played it right, they wouldn't see a thing coming, not until it hit. After the night I saw her parked outside Luke's condo, I couldn't pretend anymore. But pretending was exactly what I did. Because the truth is, you can't confront a liar with guesses. You need certainty, you need calm, you need to catch them in the lie while they're smiling at you like nothing's wrong. So I waited. 2 nights later, she came home late again, said traffic was a nightmare. I asked her how dinner with Jenna went. She blinked once, just a split-second hesitation, and said it was great. Said they split a bottle of wine and laughed all night. I nodded. You still parked at that restaurant on Roosevelt? Seemed kinda far. She froze for maybe half a second. Just long enough. Yeah. Jenna lives nearby, and I parked there since it was crowded. Why? No reason, I said, sipping my drink. Just curious. She smiled. Too wide. And that's when I knew. Claire had no idea I'd been tracking her. She thought I was still in the dark, still the dumb, trusting husband. That blind spot was going to be my weapon. The next day, I called in sick to work and met with a private investigator. Guy named Dalton, ex-cop, quiet, sharp, didn't ask unnecessary questions. I handed him Claire's schedule, her car make and model, her known, errand windows. He took it all without blinking. I'll give you photos, he said. Not just locations. Proof. That's all I wanted. Proof. Because if I was going to dismantle the 2 people I trusted most, I wasn't going to do it with anger. I was going to do it with evidence. 2 days into the surveillance, Dalton texted me. Got what you needed. She wasn't alone. He sent 4 photos. Claire, Luke, in his condo's hallway, his hand on her lower back, her smiling, leaning in, way too close for anything friendly. My hands didn't shake. I didn't cry. I just stared at the screen, calm as I've ever been. Because now, it was no longer a suspicion. It was real, and now that it was real, I could finally do something about it. Knowing the truth didn't give me peace. It gave me purpose. I walked through the next few days like nothing was wrong. I kissed Claire goodbye in the morning, texted her sweet little things during the day, even brought home her favorite coffee once. She smiled, kissed me back, told me she loved me. It was surreal, playing the role of devoted husband, while she played the role of faithful wife. And Luke? He came by Saturday. Same old Luke, same old fake warmth. We had beers on the deck, laughed about a college memory, and talked football like 2 guys without a war brewing between them. It took everything in me not to tell him I knew, not to smash the bottle in my hand and ask him what the hell happened to loyalty. But I didn't. Instead, I watched him closely, and it hit me. Not only was he not sorry, he wasn't even nervous. He thought he was untouchable. That gave me clarity. If I exploded, if I confronted them, I'd just be giving them a clean exit. A fight, a way to twist the story into, he was angry, or, it just happened, or, you were never around. But if I stayed calm, if I was cold, then I could take everything from them. So I started laying the groundwork. I moved half our savings into a separate account, legally mine. Quietly contacted a lawyer and had a consultation. No filing yet, just prep. I needed to understand exactly what my options were when I pulled the trigger. And then, I got creative. I set up a hidden camera in the garage, another near the front entryway, where Luke always came in. I didn't need a sex tape. I needed context, movement, facial expressions, closeness, the kind of stuff that painted a clear, undeniable picture. That week, Claire said she had to work late again. A client presentation. She even showed me the fake slides on her laptop. But while she was at the office, Dalton texted me again. Your friend showed up, same spot. I'll send you the footage tomorrow. I didn't need it anymore. I believed him, but I still wanted it, for them. Because what I was planning next wasn't going to be loud. It was going to be humiliating. A quiet exposure. A moment they'd never forget. And it was almost time. I planned the dinner for a Sunday. The weather was perfect. Clear skies, light breeze, just enough chill to keep people close to the fire pit. It looked like any other backyard gathering. If you'd driven by, you'd have seen string lights, glasses clinking, people laughing. But underneath all that, there was tension so thick I could taste it. Claire spent most of the day prepping appetizers and checking the mirror every 15 minutes. She asked me 3 different times if she looked too dressed up. You look great, I told her. It's a celebration, right? She smiled. Your promotion. Luke showed up last, of course. Said he had car trouble. Smiled as he handed me a bottle of whiskey like that made everything better. I shook his hand. Firm. Eye contact. Let him feel the weight in my grip. We had a few other friends over, mutuals. People who knew all three of us, people who, later, would matter more than they could possibly know. I played host like a professional. Grilled steaks. Told stories. Laughed when I was supposed to. Claire stayed close to me, touching my arm, whispering jokes in my ear like we were still in love. Luke kept his distance, but I caught the glances. Subtle, quick. You can always tell when two people are trying not to act like something's going on. They're never as invisible as they think. When dinner was winding down, I stood and raised my glass. I just want to thank everyone for coming, I said. It's not often we all get together like this, and honestly, I've been feeling really lucky lately. Not just about work, but about clarity. That word made Claire's eyes flick toward me. I've had some realizations lately, I continued. About life, about people, about truth. Luke shifted in his seat. I walked over to the small table where I'd left my tablet, tapped the screen, and turned it toward the patio TV mounted above the bar cart. Anyway, thought I'd share a little something I put together. A highlight reel, you could say. The video started. It was simple. First, GPS tracking footage. Time stamps. Claire's car parked outside Luke's condo, twice in 1 week. Then still shots. Claire exiting her car. Luke opening the door. Them together on his doorstep. Her smiling up at him. I didn't speak. I just let it play. No one at the table said a word. Claire's wine glass trembled in her hand. Luke went pale, swallowed hard. When the video ended, I looked around. Well, I said, guess the promotion speech can wait. I turned to Claire. You've got 30 seconds to decide if you want to pack a bag or explain this to everyone here. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. Luke stood up slowly. Eric, listen, man, sit down, I said, with a calm I didn't even recognize in myself. And he did. Everyone else just stared, stunned. I picked up my beer, took a sip, and nodded. Anyway, dessert's in the kitchen. Help yourselves. Then I walked inside and left them to burn in the fire they lit together. The back door stayed open behind me, but no one followed. I sat down at the kitchen table alone, the same one Claire and I had eaten dinner at for the last 8 years. The same table she used to laugh across, drink wine, help with our taxes, talk about starting a family. Now it felt like just a piece of wood between two strangers. Out on the patio, there was nothing but dead air. Not even whispers. Just that stunned, awkward silence that only shows up when two liars are forced to face the truth at the same time. I didn't peek out the window. I didn't need to. I already knew what I'd see, Claire frozen, searching for an excuse that would never come. Luke shrinking into his chair like a man who just realized how small he really is. They thought they were smarter than me. They thought they could carry on, and I'd never catch on. That I'd keep playing husband while they stole what they wanted behind my back. But I didn't break things. I let them break themselves. 20 minutes passed before I heard the front door creak open. Claire stepped in, eyes red but dry. Her hands were shaking. She didn't say anything at first, just stood there, waiting for me to start it. I didn't. Finally, she whispered, "Can we talk?" "You mean now?" I asked. "Before or after you go to his place again?" Her lip trembled. It didn't mean to go this far. I laughed, short and sharp. "You've been lying for months. Parking 2 blocks away like I can't check a damn GPS. Smiling at me after nights at his place. Don't insult both of us by pretending this was a mistake." She sat down slowly across from me. "I know I screwed up." "You didn't screw up," I said. "You chose this. You chose him." Again and again. She looked down, silent. "I'm not going to scream," I told her. "I'm not going to throw anything. But you're not staying here tonight. Or any night after. You're kicking me out?" "No," I said, standing. "You walked out the moment you opened his door. This is just me catching up." She wiped her face. "Where am I supposed to go?" "You're a grown woman, Claire," I said, heading for the stairs. "Ask Luke." I left her there, sitting at the table like she finally understood how far she'd fallen. Luke tried calling that night. I let it ring. He tried texting the next morning. "Man, I didn't want it to happen like this. Can we talk? I responded with a screenshot of the video still, him and Claire in his doorway. Then I blocked his number. 2 days later, I sent that same image to his employer's HR department. Along with a note. Attached are images of one of your managers engaging in a relationship with a married client during business hours, using company time and devices. I didn't need to hear back to know the damage was done. This was never about revenge that landed loud. It was about truth served cold. And public. Because some betrayals deserve witnesses. I wish I could say there was a moment where it all felt worth it. That when I watched Claire pack her things, shoving half a life into a single duffel bag while avoiding eye contact, I felt triumphant. I didn't. It didn't feel like winning. It felt like cleaning up after a storm you didn't start but still have to live through. She tried to talk again before she left. Said maybe we could work on things. That she'd go to therapy. That it didn't mean anything. I let her speak. Then I opened the door. And I closed it behind her. I never raised my voice. Never called her names. I think that unnerved her more than anything. Because when you do something vile, you expect the other person to break. But I didn't. Because this wasn't about making her feel what I felt. It was about cutting the rope clean, so I could finally breathe again. Luke, he didn't last long at his job after the email I sent. I didn't need to check. One of our mutual friends let it slip a week later. Heard he's taking some time off, personal stuff. Good. He's got plenty of time now to think about the kind of man he turned out to be. And the friends who saw it all go down that night? Some reached out, said they were sorry, said they never saw it coming. I didn't ask them to choose sides. I didn't have to. Betrayal tends to do its own sorting. Now, I live quiet. I cook for one. I sleep in the middle of the bed. I leave my phone face up and unlocked, because I've got nothing to hide. There are still days where it sneaks up on me. A smell, a song, a pair of shoes by the door that aren't there anymore. But I'm not angry. Not anymore. Because walking away with your integrity intact is the cleanest revenge there is. I didn't just survive what they did. I watched them burn their own house down and handed them the matches.